headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister holds meeting with the Vietnam Innovation Network in Europe. And border guards build new homes for families ahead of TED. In our world news, U.S. President-elect commits to major policy shifts.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. On the 95th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of Vietnam and in celebration of the upcoming Lunar New Year festival, a meeting of members of the Party Central Committee from different terms was held Monday morning at the Party Central Committee's headquarters. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm delivered a keynote address at the event.
In his remarks, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized the responsibility that current leadership and party members bear in advancing the nation's historical missions. The party chief stressed the need for unified awareness and rigorous adherence to the party leadership and governance principles. He called for substantial and effective economic restructuring, aligning growth with innovation based on science, technology, and digital transformations with a focus on human-centered development. Further priorities include advancing cultures and social progress, safeguarding national sovereignty and territorial integrity, maintaining political and social stability, and enhancing international relations and integration. During the event, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm presented the prestigious Gold Star Order, the party highest honor, to former Party General Secretary Nông Đức Mạnh and former Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng for their extraordinary contributions to the party and nation's revolutionary cause. The party chief also posthumously awarded the Ho Chi Minh Order to former State President Trần Đại Quang. Additionally, State President Lương Cường and National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn awarded party insignias to former Politburo members and Party Central Committee members in recognition of their service.
Now, during his official visit to the Czech Republic, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with the Vietnam Innovation Network and Vietnamese experts in Europe. At the meeting, the Prime Minister expressed deep appreciation for the thoughtful and constructive suggestions from the Innovation Network members. Their practical proposals included establishing a dedicated innovation agency, strengthening academic exchanges, creating innovation hubs, and attracting resources. He called on network members to build stronger ties with the National Innovation Center, help develop policies and frameworks, support technology transfer, and improve human resources and management skills. The Prime Minister pledged to develop new mechanisms and policies to foster innovation and attract talented individuals. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and his spouse visited the Prague Vietnamese Language Center during their official visit to the Czech Republic. The center, established over 20 years ago, has taught Vietnamese to thousands of children born and raised in the Czech Republic. The Prime Minister emphasized that the Vietnamese language serves as a bridge between generations, helping young overseas Vietnamese to understand and take pride in their cultural and historical traditions. He commended the center's leadership and dedicated teachers for their efforts in language education and directed the Ministry of Education and Training to enhance Vietnamese teaching programs abroad. These improvements will include diversifying teaching methods and aligning schedules with local time zones to facilitate learning. During the visit, the Prime Minister and his spouse also attended the Homeland Spring 2025 program and extended Lunar New Year greetings to the Vietnamese community in the Czech Republic. The annual World Economic Forum WEF 2025 opens Monday in Davos, Switzerland, and runs until January 24th. And under the theme of Cooperation for the Smart Era, the conference will welcome Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, who will attend with his spouse and a high-level Vietnamese delegation. The forum underscores the critical role of collaboration amid rapidly advancing technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotechnology, which are driving profound societal changes. The conference will address 5 key priorities: reshaping growth, industries in all AI age, investing in people, protecting the earth, and rebuilding trust. This year, the industry and trade sector aims to increase total export value by 12 to 14%. The Industrial Production Index IIP targets growth of 9 to 10%, with a stretch goal of 12.5%. However, reaching these targets presents significant challenges.
By doubling its production line of high-quality electronic circuit boards, this factory has achieved record output. As a result, it has secured orders through the second quarter of this year.
There are many competitors, so we need to focus on improving quality rather than quantity.
Forecasts for 2025 indicate many challenges, especially stricter regulations in key markets like the EU and the US, impacting Vietnam's major export sectors.
With strong support for domestic production, the U.S. will likely continue considering tariffs on imports. Vietnamese businesses should focus on sustainability, social responsibility, and diversifying product design.
To overcome challenges, key industries in Vietnam also propose that the government maintain favorable policies.
The on-spot import and export policy streamlines operations. When a customer purchases goods and requests domestic delivery, 2 domestic enterprises can work directly with each other.
Restructuring the industrial sector is key to driving fundamental change. This year, the government will focus on enhancing the competitiveness of industries with strategic advantages.
At the start of the year, the government issued Resolution 01 outlining key tasks and solutions for implementing the 2025 Socio-Economic Development Plan and state budget estimates. The resolution targets a minimum 8% GDP growth this year, with potential double-digit growth under favorable conditions. Resolution 01 presents 12 key tasks, with institutional reform designated as the breakthrough of breakthroughs to drive development. The country needs to prioritize key infrastructure projects, including inter-regional transport, urban infrastructure, digital transformation initiatives, high-speed and urban railway development, along with improved connectivity between expressways, airports, and seaports. In 2024, Vietnam achieved 7.09% GDP growth, ranking among the few countries with high growth rates globally. And this achievement creates a strong foundation for 2025, with promising indicators in consumer spending, public investment, and real estate recovery. Prime Minister Phie has set a target for the agricultural sector to reach $70 billion in export revenues and achieve a GDP growth of 3.5 to 4% in 2025. And to meet this goal, the sector must enhance the global competitiveness of Vietnamese agricultural products. While external challenges such as climate change and market barriers persist, competitiveness remains a critical internal issue.
The fruit industry is making remarkable progress as new agricultural exports join the billion-dollar club annually. This production facility has implemented digitalization and automation to meet stringent international market standards. However, to stay competitive with similar products from other countries, the sector needs a workforce trained in modern agricultural practices.
Our agricultural engineers come from renowned universities. With their formal education, hands-on experience, and knowledge of technical standards like global gap, they adapt quickly.
Only 10% of agricultural output undergoes processing, while exporting raw agricultural goods at high costs remains a critical weakness. These structural issues need to be addressed.
Transportation costs now account for up to 40% of agri-food prices, which reduces competitiveness. Further efforts are required to align our prices with global ones.
Research institutes are now shifting their efforts toward enhancing the sector's competitiveness.
The application of biotechnology, particularly genetic technology, remains limited as we speak. Our next focus will be on intensifying research activities, especially in genetic engineering, to advance agricultural techniques.
Moving forward, investment in agriculture, particularly in advanced technologies, must be prioritized.
Reaching 70 billion USD in agricultural, forestry, and fishery exports by 2025 will require unprecedented efforts across the sector. The three pillars essential to building Vietnam's agricultural strength are innovations in seed development, production infrastructure, and processing technology.
And before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, January 20th. Coming up next on VTV News. Border guards build new homes for families ahead of TED. And later on, traditional TED Festival showcases interactive cultural activities. Moving on to other news, during the Lunar New Year period, some vendors mix low-quality food from questionable sources to increase profits. And in January alone, food safety violations have risen by an estimated 30% compared to December, necessitating stronger and more effective oversight from authorities.
Retail systems and large processing facilities will be subject to increased supervision from now until the Lunar New Year. The interdisciplinary inspection team requires establishments participating in the food market to strictly control the quality and origin of goods.
Our inspections show that the supply of agricultural products is sufficient and meets the basic needs of large cities. Local authorities have assigned key sectors, especially health, industry, trade, and agriculture, to monitor and enforce food safety standards.
The country currently has over 18,000 small-scale slaughterhouses operating without business registration certificates or government permits.
Household slaughtering still accounts for up to 50% of Hanoi's entire raw meat supply. The adoption of large-scale slaughterhouses has fallen short of expectations.
The Department of Animal Health and city authorities have run tests on meat samples and discovered multiple pathogens, including highly contagious viral diseases such as African swine fever or foot and mouth disease. The second type of pathogen includes Salmonella or E. coli.
During the peak period before, during, and after TET, the Central Interdisciplinary Steering Committee on Food Safety requires localities to conduct surprise veterinary inspections, monitor food safety proactively, and raise awareness among producers.
The nationwide 450-day campaign to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses is accelerating to meet this year's target. Each day, 350 houses must be built or repaired. And with 1 year remaining in the campaign, Simacai has become the first district in Lào Cai province to achieve 100% of its target.
The land with $1 million view is what locals jokingly call the resettlement area for families who lost their homes after Typhoon Yagi in Sanchain Commune, Simacai District, Lào Cai province. In this mountainous region with steep slopes prone to landslides, finding safe land for new homes is extremely difficult. The district border guards provided full funding for construction materials and, together with local residents, worked for several months to complete the houses before date.
When I'm unsure about building a house, the soldiers teach me what to do. Without their help, I would only have a temporary tent up there instead of a proper house.
Border guards provided breeding buffaloes, goats, and seedlings to support families affected by the storm and poor households living in temporary housing. They visited each home to offer guidance on raising livestock and growing crops.
We sympathize and understand the hardships of our people. We try our best to support them in every way, calling for social resources to help them as much as possible.
The Canho field was submerged under 7 meters of water for 2 weeks after the storm. Though residents lost their only rice crop of the year, farming has now resumed. Electricity, water supply, and transportation systems have all been restored.
We dedicate our time and effort to building houses for our people. Our goal is to ensure that by then, everyone affected by the typhoon has a proper home, a place to eat, sleep, and welcome a peaceful and happy spring.
Local residents are familiar with the free medical examinations and medicine provided by military medical units.
I'm very happy and grateful for the soldiers' care. They help us by providing health checkups and building houses so we can celebrate it properly.
Working alongside Uncle Ho's soldiers, the Hmong people cleaned their village roads and decorated their new houses in preparation for Tết. Despite facing severe natural disasters, Simacai district enters this year's Tết celebration with no temporary or dilapidated houses remaining.
Ninh Thuận province has one of the highest percentages of near poor and poor households in the country. And despite this challenge, the province aims to repair and build more than 1,600 homes for families living in inadequate housing, focusing especially on areas with large ethnic populations. More to follow.
This is the poorest mountainous district in Ninh Thuận province. More than 86% of the population belongs to the Raglais ethnic group. The district is rapidly constructing sturdy, standardized houses to ensure timely handover. This initiative is expected to increase the proportion of households with permanent housing to nearly 65%.
The government-supported house shields us from the sun and rain. Now I can focus on developing our family's livelihood.
To eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing, the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee of the province launched a housing assistance program for poor and near-poor households as part of a broader plan for 2023 to 2025. The initiative, with an estimated budget of over $8 million USD, draws on contributions from individuals, businesses, and local authorities.
The program's humanitarian mission has garnered strong support from organizations, individuals, and businesses both within and outside the province. Together with the Provincial Fatherland Front Committee, these supporters are committed to completing the initiative by 2025.
More than 1,600 households in the province currently lack adequate housing. The province not only improves living conditions, but also inspires disadvantaged mountain communities to build better lives.
So far, we've built 56 homes under the Poverty Reduction Program. This is a significant source of encouragement for families to eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing.
Efforts are underway to ensure that more families can celebrate the Lunar New Year in their new homes. The determination to enhance the quality of life for ethnic communities is driving the province's commitment to completely eradicate substandard housing by 2025.
As the Lunar New Year approaches, the flower and ornamental plant market in Hưng Yên grows more bustling every day. And this year, local flower and plant growers have worked hard to recover from Typhoon Yagi's damage to meet Tết market demands. And on display are key products with unique shapes and designs, including camellias, hanging flower baskets, decorative plants, and various types of bonsai. Some pomelo bonsai trees are valued at nearly $4,000 each. And currently, Hưng Yên province boasts approximately 3,000 hectares of flower and ornamental plant cultivation. By 2030, the province aims to generate over $197 million in revenue from these traditional craft villages. Their development agenda is also integrated into local tourism activities. The Bình Thuận Tourism Association is hosting the 12th Bánh Chưng Festival, offering international visitors a unique opportunity to immerse themselves in Vietnam's traditional Lunar New Year celebrations. Guests can learn to wrap bánh chưng with dong leaves while learning about the cultural significance of this iconic dish. Bình Thuận province has become a popular destination with more than 70% of international visitors choosing its resorts for this year's Tet holiday. Hanoi has been named among the top 50 greatest cities in the world for 2025 by Time Out magazine in the UK. The city proudly holds the 21st position on this prestigious list, showcasing its rich cultural and historical heritage. Time Out praises Hanoi for its numerous attractions and unique cultural experiences. While strolling around the Old Quarter, visitors can savor a variety of traditional dishes like pho, bún chả, and spring rolls. They can also explore hidden cafes tucked away in narrow alleys while enjoying scenic views of Hoàn Kiếm Lake. Coming up next in our world news, U.S. President-elect commits to major policy shifts. And the first Israel-Hamas hostage exchange completed. Now moving on to our world news, President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn in on Monday, and at a rally in Washington on the eve of his inauguration, he made a series of strong policy commitments. He vowed to solve the nation's problems as he prepares to take office. And with proposed changes to immigration, trade, and energy policies, he pledged to usher in a new era of strength, prosperity, and pride for the country. On border control, the president-elect declared its top priority, stating he would immediately halt migration across the Mexican border on his first day in office. On national security, he announced plans to direct the military to build the Iron Dome missile defense system upon taking office. The Israeli prison service released 90 Palestinian prisoners early Monday morning after Hamas released 3 Israeli hostages. The two sides have thus completed the first hostage exchange within the framework of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. Israel said the 90 prisoners were freed from Ofer prison and the Jerusalem detention center. On Sunday, Hamas released 3 hostages, all women. The first phase of the deal includes the release of a total of about 1,900 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for 33 Israeli hostages held in Gaza. The truce is expected to allow for increased humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip and also create conditions for a lasting ceasefire, as well as the release of a total of 91 Israeli and foreign hostages still held in Gaza. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has proposed a ban on non-EU citizens buying homes in Spain as part of efforts to tackle the country's housing price crisis. The proposal specifically targets purchases made for speculative purposes. In 2023, according to the Spanish government, non-EU citizens purchased approximately 27,000 houses and apartments in Spain, with British buyers leading at 9.5% of all transactions. This proposal follows Sanchez's earlier announcement last week to impose a tax of up to 100% on property transactions by non-EU residents in Spain. Living paintings are a unique art form where people recreate motionless scenes remaining frozen in time for hours. And this cultural tradition, originating from Galeras, Colombia, has recently been recognized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
Every New Year, residents of Galeras neighborhood in Colombia Secure province transform the street into an outdoor stage. Visitors witness what appears to be living paintings come to life, a cherished tradition that has endured for decades.
These living paintings embody a people whose culture and resilience have preserved their ancient traditions.
Young and old alike transformed house site and house facade into three-dimensional paintings, crafted by hand, often using recycled materials. To recreate the paintings, participants must remain motionless for 2 hours, becoming living characters who portray daily activities and local festivals. UNESCO has recognized the Galeria's living paintings as vibrant representations of Colombia's political, environmental, cultural, and social issues.
The UNESCO recognition brings us great joy. This will help people around the world discover and visit our community.
It's both an honor and a great responsibility. With the world's eyes upon us, we must continue showing everyone the incredible talent that exists in Galeras.
According to documents from the Colombian Ministry of Culture, the practice of creating living paintings emerged in the mid-19th century as a way to convey information through images to illiterate peasant communities. Today, living paintings stand as a cultural emblem of Colombia, a tradition that the Galeras people carry with them from birth.
And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.